All right, the recording is live. All
Now remember,
right.
don't say bad words
No bad words. No
for
bad
at least
words.
50 seconds.
No bad words here. So it's been a while. I moved since the last time we did this, which meant it had to take a while for us to be back, but we're back.
I got a cat.
Maeve's got a cat.
I
Jackie.
love her so much.
Yes, Jackie had to step out of the campaign to take time for personal life stuff, but as Harm is very crucial to this one-shot story, we elected and she agreed to have someone else take over playing the character. So Ben has come on to continue playing Harm for the rest of this one-shot.
Whoop whoop.
He has been briefed and caught up on everything going on with the character and the current dealings of the session. With that in mind, who wants to review what happened last time we played, which was over a month ago, I want to say? A month and a
It's been
half?
a while.
Are we resetting that whole episode?
Yes, we're going to reset, because that...
Okay, so we're recapping what happened before then.
Yes.
Wait, where are we?
We're just after the fight just ended.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you just opened the box.
It's my dick in a box.
Alright, we were on a ship, sailing to the storm wall when we were attacked by vampires. Both the ships crashed for a reason, I forget why.
One of the ships exploded because of an arcane engine that it had on the top of it, which was struck by lightning and malfunctioned.
Okay. That happened. And we washed ashore with, well, the four of us, and also a
Malila, the navigator,
flying
merfolk.
person named Malila,
Malila,
which I
sorry.
remember because it rhymes with Delilah. She flew up and also the person, the captain that, not the captain, but the
First mate,
first mate that was important to you died.
Carlos. Yes.
Gave you a ring, and she flew up, scouted the entire island. So we have a vague map of it. Saw that there was a broken ship at the top north tip. There's a weird machine in the center of the island. Lots of jungle. Oh, there are T-Rexes too. There
one T-Rex.
is a river that converges into a pond with what looks to be man-made structures at the southern part of the island, and then north to us on the beach, really right next to us, were a bunch of figures which we went to go check out, and they were vampires, and they were trying to get this box up from underneath the ocean, and we kicked their fucking asses, and it was really gruesome actually. And I had a vision of my dead brother, which like your character wouldn't know, but that's like the general population would know.
Like the characters didn't know. I saw that was going like, ooh, dream vibes,
Yeah.
nightmare vibes.
And okay, so the vampires got their asses whooped, and I hope that's not a bad word for YouTube.
Oh, we're way past that. That's where it's fine.
But we killed them. We opened the box. There was not a Briarwood? Yeah, Briarwood in there, and
No,
Maeve's character
Briarwood is Critical Role.
Oh.
You're thinking Black Drake.
Yep.
Black Drake, yeah.
Maria Black Drake.
Well, they both start with B.
They're both connected with vampires as well. Maria Black Drake leaped from the coffin, was very startled, and then when Lilith approached, responded, "Cousin?" And that is where we left off. Um, so Lilith, as your cousin sees you for the first time in many, many, many years, she is stunned in silence for a moment, but then immediately rushes into a hug with you.
I give her the biggest bear hug.
I thought you were. I thought you were dead. I saw you fall. Wow.
I'm all right. I'm all right, Maria. What was the last thing you remember? The last thing.
I remember Hull and my brother attacked us, and you were wounded, and then I lost consciousness, and I woke up in that box. I think I was asleep in there for a long time. Before I think that something went wrong. I think it was supposed to keep me in stasis, but I think something went wrong, and then I woke up, and I was stuck in there for a long time before you got me out.
Darling, it's been roughly over 1,000 years since that happened. I've been searching for you this whole time. I'm so sorry it took me so long to find out where you were, but I had to get to you somehow.
What?
Not to interrupt. Not to interrupt this gorgeous moment. This is being said out loud in front of everyone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just sorry. Continue.
Here's the thing: if I'm looking for my cousin for 1,000 years, I don't care who's
No. That's totally fine. I'm just making sure that we all catch all of these details.
Oh yeah, Gil is making mad sad eyes with you. Like what?
Excellent.
I'm just sitting here in shock and awe that a person was in that box for at least 1,000 years.
Are you hurt? Are you in pain? Are you thirsty?
Slowly crawling around the box, inspecting it.
A little thirsty. If you, she kind of eyes the rest of the group and then eyes you knowingly.
How long do we have before you need a drink?
I mean, I'm not gonna drop dead or anything. I'm just not gonna be as helpful until we do.
I'll find something for you as soon as I can.
Sorry.
No, hold on.
Did you say 1,000 years?
That's what you're focusing on. Did you not hear the fucking blood drinkers thirst?
That part would have been whispered, so you would have to roll a perception check to hear that.
All right.
They are trying.
Establish that was.
I believe in you.
Believe in me that believes in you.
That part they were attempting to be a little more secretive.
I understand that, but
I didn't even catch that. I assumed they went like a little hush hush. Whisper.
Versus. Yeah, you didn't catch. You heard them whisper. Although actually, I say technically this would be more of an insight, so I'll let you roll that again of insight.
Oh, okay. Because
it's less like they're whispering a little bit, but it's more like them trying to hide exactly their meaning. No, with an 11, you don't pick up on the blood drinking thing. Which, to be fair, they did not say blood drinking. They just said she was thirsty.
Yeah, but with Gil's history of vampires and shit.
Yeah.
Also true. Also,
it's not a guarantee you would make that conclusion.
Do we still have
make sense
vampire spawn? Do we still have a vampire body right there? Out of curiosity.
I believe most of the vampires were bisected by Lilith.
Okay.
Most of them.
Yeah.
I think
that was fun.
I did roll for this last time, and there are none of them are living.
Okay.
So if you're wanting to interrogate people, the time is a bit up on that one. But
I wasn't thinking in terms of interrogation. I was thinking of she looks very pale. So.
Oh, if you're trying to get a comparison between her and a vampire, I'd say roll a. I'd say an insight, or if you want, you can do like an arcana insight or a religion. I'd say.
Religion, you say? Okay.
Yeah, that's what that makes sense.
I don't know if you could argue advantage since there's literally a coffin and we have fought vampires, but I'll leave that up to you.
I'll say I'll allow advantage.
I don't know if it makes a
16.
difference.
I mean, she's definitely connected with some vampire stuff. You don't know if she is a vampire, or perhaps she was just imprisoned by one.
Right.
It's,
And above game, I'm pretty sure he just described a box, not necessarily a coffin.
yeah.
I thought there was a coffin
it was-
inside the box.
We should probably know what she is.
Oh, was there?
It was so within the box there was a smaller. It looks kind of like a coffin, but you know it could be described as just a box designed to fit a body comfortably. So not necessarily a coffin. You could come to the conclusion that perhaps this was just something that was meant to keep her in stasis, and that's why she survived so long. And she was just imprisoned by vampires. You could come to the conclusion that she might be of or similar to a vampire in some way.
This
There's
feels like
definitely
I
some connection there, but you don't
there's
necessarily.
some sort of connection, not nearly enough understanding.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
It's not like a. That person's definitely a vampire. It's like that person might be a vampire, but I don't really have enough context in the situation to say anything for sure. There's definitely a sense of some missing context here.
It's like something doesn't quite add up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you just found out these two are cousins, and you know very little about Lilith to begin with. So there's clearly a
Also,
story
this is
here
the
you
first-
haven't heard.
Also, first time she's actually showing emotion.
Yeah.
Like
Hold
I've
on.
seen the first episode, most of the parts of the second episode, and all of them she has that deadpan and like just, and then suddenly, what the?
Maria looks up at you, Lilith. Okay, I have a lot of questions. What's happened to the Stree Krasar or the Kree Strazar? What is my brother doing? And where the hell are we? Where's my dad?
I'm not sure. I don't know. We're on an island beyond the storm wall, and your father is deceased.
I will say, technically, you do know what happened to the Kree Strazar. You saw the aftermath of the coup, and are
But
aware.
would I want her to know that?
Yeah. So, if you're intentionally hiding that, I want a deception check.
Ah, you got it.
She's gonna
As
insight.
not.
She has pretty
Ow!
good insight.
While she's doing that check, I'm also going to do that religion check to see if she's what she is. By the way,
Sure, I'll let you
Can
do a
I
religion check
argue
too.
that
yeah,
I
you
would
can
have
just
advantage?
message me privately
I mean,
if you don't want to interrupt a moment.
Yeah, you got the 20 on the first roll anyways, so that 20 stands. She also got a 20.
Fuck.
You guys kind of match, and she doesn't know outright what you're hiding, but she knows you didn't give her the full story right there. She knows you hid something in that remark.
Can I argue the advantage thing here too? On mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
What have I done?
You say this looking at her, Quentin. She's very pale.
Mm-hmm.
Her clothes are in tatters. And so clearly there was wear and tear within that box. But she's not worn. Her nails are a little bit long and almost claw-like, but there's just something about it. She looks so almost like a vampire, but there's something more to it there. She's not a vampire, but she's something similar.
So as I've been crawling kind of around the box, kind of inspecting it, I'll just kind of
I'll say roll. I'll also
Suddenly-
let you roll an Arcana check on the box for me.
okay.
Okay, I'll say with a 13. Actually, I'll give you the 18 on this one because you are trained. You're specifically trained in a lot of similar artifice to this. You see on the parts of the coffin that aren't too damaged to make things out, there are runes on it. And it looks like this coffin was constructed in a manner that would put whoever was placed into it in stasis, so they'd be, they'd basically be like removed from time until someone opened it back up. But on the surface of it, one of the runes was damaged at some point, possibly from wear and tear of being under the ocean. And that is probably when she woke up. So whoever put her in this didn't want her to be trapped in a box for 1,000 years. They wanted her to be out of the way till they could get her back. And the fact that she was trapped in a box for however many years she was entirely an accident.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna be blunt with you. Are you a vampire?
Lilith whips her head and stares at him.
She looks
Smiling
at
back.
Maria looks back at you, Lilith, and goes, "How much do you trust these people?"
Given the current circumstances, I'm not sure how much of a choice we have as to whether or not we can trust them.
Perhaps it would be better phrased as the question: are you gonna start turning on us and drinking our blood?
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm just curious.
Well, that's what
So
I'm
there's a
worried
mystery
about.
we have on our hands. Woman trapped in a box. It's weirdly coffin-like, designed to keep you out of time. Attacked by her brother. Interesting. Also,
Our brother's a
You're-
dick.
I mean, I can kind of tell. Which means you're also older than her, at the very least.
I will
There's
also
a lot
say
going on here. I love me a mystery.
this is a piece of information that Lilith would have that very few people on this planet would still know. While Marshall was kind of a dick to everyone before, he was never cruel before. He was just kind of aloof and a bit of an asshole. He was also incredibly kind and loving to his sister. He loved her more than anything else. And while she knew he was kind of rough to other people, it still would have been extremely shocking that he would have done this to her. I mean, that's why you were caught off guard. No one ever thought Marshall would. They knew that he didn't like his dad. They never thought he would dare raise a hand against his sister. So it does occur to you that there may still be a bit of shock for her in that.
I take her hand.
Maria looks up at you, Antonitos. Your question, am I a vampire? No, but very few people are equipped to be able to tell the difference.
It's just something weird. Like, you're vampire-ish.
I am something similar, but intended to hunt vampires. Sort of a fire with fire scenario, if you will.
Interesting.
I think
None of you are in danger from us.
Oh, I'm not worried about the danger. Have you looked at me and just kind of pops the arm off a little bit? Huh? Come on, I live for the danger.
I'm not very impressed.
I'm
Actually, I
going
may die
to
for the danger too. Who knows?
I'm gonna roll an insight just to make sure they're telling the truth, because I don't think my character doesn't fully trust everyone here. My
Yeah, sure,
character's
do
like,
insight.
yeah.
I'm not. I'm gonna take the story at face value. Also, my insight's a -1, so
Huh. I totally
I want
believe
you to
them.
roll just to see what you would get.
I'll say
I'll roll just to see what I get. It was a nat 20.
If you
I did say I'm not doing it, but that's hilarious.
I'll let this stand because Antonitos is interacting with them a lot
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Harm, you don't fucking trust anyone. Your ship just exploded. You don't know where your captain is. Like, this is working on that ship under the captain was your entire life's dream and everything you ever wanted. And you just became second mate. This was everything you ever wanted, and then the ship exploded. So you don't really trust anyone right now.
On top of the fact that literally before Carlos died and let's see, Talia went missing.
Yeah.
The little conversation was someone's trying to fuck us.
Yeah. But I will say, and Gil, I'll let that stand too. Both Antoniotis and Gil get the impression this person is telling the truth. They're clearly like, if they were a vampire and blood starved, they wouldn't be this composed. They're clearly whatever's going on with them. It's not like they can't control it. They're still very composed. They might just be weaker without a drink of blood, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna jump on any of you or lose their mind. It seems it's really up to the matter of, do you trust that this person wouldn't sell you out if it benefits them? Does it benefit them at all to begin with? And are you hostile towards them? If you get the feeling, if there isn't a reason for them to do anything to you, they're not going to do anything to you. And Antonitas with the nat 20, I'll take it a step farther. You are really their best bet off this island at this point. It is entirely in their self-interest to keep you guys alive, and because you guys are their best chance of giving help to them. So if anything, they kind of need you in this moment, because her and Lilith aren't going to be able to do this on their own, whatever is going on.
Yeah.
Say that out loud. I'm gonna keep that last bit to myself.
Okay, so you say the bit about, if as long as there's not a reason for them to go after you, they won't, kind of deal.
I think Ananias would keep that to himself too.
Okay.
To be honest,
What
I mean, other
do you
people
say
got
out
that.
loud? Because you said you say it out loud, but then you said the two things that I said you don't say out loud. So which part of that conversation?
I don't think he would say anything out loud. I
Oh,
think he would.
I
think she would be saying things to him, and then he would be like, "Ooh."
Who's on
Just kind of
first?
like listening to the story.
Okay. He's now kind of looking around. Looks up at the sky.
Okay.
We're in the storm wall, by the way. Don't know how that happened.
Oh,
Wasn't
like-
exactly part of the plan.
Do you know about the creatures that live in the storm wall?
I'll roll an Arcana check for her. She's got, it's not specifically in her background, but she's got a super high Arcana, so we'll see. Yeah, it's just 18.
I think Han's gonna look
storm
at.
elementals.
Oh.
It's not anything special. It's just a place of high elemental energy. It's a lot of energy for them to feed off of, so they hang out in the area. It's probably a few of them are probably quite pretty big. There's a lot for them to feed off of. I'm sorry, why are we in the storm?
I don't know. Well, I mean, we were here for like an artifact of some sort that was nearby, and some vampires attacked us.
You're literally the
their
mercenaries
ship
of
exploded.
Lord Gellick. Your entire job is to find an artifact on a shipwreck.
Yes, I know. But I don't know why we're here on this island. And I don't know why you're here on this island. It points to it's Maria, right?
Yes. I will also say, I'm not going to say it directly, but I will say, Lilith, you do have an additional piece of information regarding this that the rest of the party does not.
Is it in my character background?
It is in your character background.
Okay, I should reread that.
Do you want? I can message it to you. Here, where are you in? I'll message it to you.
So, Ham's looking at everyone else, trying to get a read on this brand new, absolutely bonkers situation.
Yeah, I just messaged you the piece of information you have on Discord.
As Ham looks at Gil, what is Gil giving off? Mood / energy wise.
Just bewilderment. Just like, why are we standing here? We have a billion things to do, but also, what the fuck is she? And also, kind of think we all just kind of died when the ship crashed. Because, this is crazy.
I can assure you, if you did die, you'd be someplace much nicer than here.
I don't.
I
No,
like you.
I don't think so.
I like you a lot more than your cousin. But I like you. You're fun.
Have you? I'm very concerned by all of you.
You should be most concerned about him.
How do we get
I-
off this island?
That is a great question. We are
We're
trying to
figuring
figure
that
out.
shit out. You want to help?
So, how about we first take what we can from the various bodies here, and then get off the beach, and if possible, cover our tracks in some way.
Very well. I
The
could
problem with all
probably
the beaches is,
use a new set of armor.
Our best bet would be to set up a camp somewhere. Send scouts towards the island.
Were you saying something,
Either-
Gil?
Move
Sorry.
Back to the map so you guys can make informed decisions here.
Yes, the totally not phallic tower.
No.
Oh, Tatler's a phallic in
I'm
imagery.
so upset that I was thinking it and someone else said it out loud.
Everyone was
You gotta be
everyone
quicker
was
than that.
thinking in the back of their
I didn't.
heads.
I didn't even think about it before, but with the trees nearby,
Yeah, that one was all you. You're the one that drew that one.
I know.
Also, do keep in mind, not everything on here is to scale. It is a much longer trek to the boat and to the village than would appear based off that 15-minute curve.
All right.
Everything's not to scale. Some things grow.
So you guys loot the bodies pretty quickly. Maria gets a change of armor because hers are tattered from being under the ocean for 1,000 years and not in a usable condition. And also
You
grabs
can't get good quality nowadays.
and also grabs the 2 daggers that were on the mage. So she's furnished with a weapon, not ideal, but she has one. What do you guys want to? I assume you grab Malila, who was hiding in a tree.
Of course we could grab Malila.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to leave Malila behind.
I see we're adding another. Hi, I'm Malila. What's your name? Maria. I'm sure that won't become confusing. What are you guys doing for making camp? Remember, you do not have any food, so if you want to do a long rest, you are going to need to do some hunting.
I think what we should. So Ham's gonna be like, I think what we need to do is find some place to hunker down on. While we're doing that, we can try and look for something for food. And I think our best bet is inland. Being out on the beach, it leaves us too exposed.
Let me see. I'm gonna look real quick. Does Maria have something for this? She unfortunately does not have create food and water, nor a shelter spell. Malila might have something for that though.
Someone had tiny hut. I remember that.
Yeah, I think
Harm
Harm
has
has
tiny
tiny
hut.
hut. Yeah.
And yeah, no, Ham can totally put that down. What I'm trying to do is find some place a little bit more.
I mean, if I have to, we don't have to worry about water. They
Oh.
shake their jug.
Do you want to go into detail on that exactly?
She's a vampire.
Fucking
No, I'm
Christ,
kidding.
I'm not.
Looking at
Fucking
Gil.
whatever god I follow, I'm not.
Alright, hang on. No, I don't want to ask you. Never mind.
Oh, I'm not cool enough.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay.
Not you. I wasn't gonna. I wasn't. I don't have any questions for you.
That also wasn't his Antonitos voice. I think there was something he wasn't going to ask above game.
Oh no, I had food in my mouth. I was trying to be Ananias.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
you guys are trying to find like a
Um,
campsite off the beaten path.
It's
Campsite or cave or something.
not
Nice
a
low.
big deal. Please do not ask me for anything when this ordeal is over. I don't like to share. This jug can create infinite water. Not quite infinite. Enough for us. That's it. No question.
Why
Well,
do you
that's
have
one
to
thing
make
taken
why?
care of.
So why the heck make it into a bigger deal if it's if you could have just simply said it's an infinite jug of liquid?
So I'll
Because
say
then you
for
have to ask
fun,
me for more things. Like, what exactly can it do? What exactly, how much is it? Now, suddenly, this is our jug. I owe you. I don't want that. I don't owe you. You
Uh,
owe me for letting you use this.
Excuse me.
I will
We're
say
gonna get
for
We're gonna get each other
finding
off this island.
a campsite, anyone can roll a survival or investigation check. For hunting, it will be a survival or perception check to find something to hunt.
I want to assist in trying to find a location. Who wants to take the lead on that, and who wants to take the lead on hunting?
I will say you
We'll
can
take the lead
also
on-
request one of the NPCs to take the lead on something in this if you want. Just ask, and I'll give you whatever relevant stat they have if you want to compare. Malila doesn't have a lot for this. Maria does have a +10 to investigation, though, and a +7 to perception.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to let her lead, though.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. Who do you want to take the lead on each activity?
I will say, I probably would be it'd probably be easier for Ananitos to try and find food in the form of like plants and shit. I have a better nature skill.
I'll say if you wanted to just track down some edible plants, you could do a nature check.
Okay,
That
so
probably it would be hard to get enough to.
feed everyone.
You
Yeah,
could probably feed everybody. The problem is if you found an animal and could bring a full animal back, that is blood that technically Maria can drink.
Could I conceivably just run down an animal and batter it to death?
Well, the problem isn't necessarily killing an animal. The problem is finding one.
Okay.
I don't think I'm super great at that part.
All right. So how about we split into teams? I go with whoever's going to help me find, with whoever I need help to find shelter. We have one team trying to find edible foods. We can split that up even further to food for us, food for not vampire. And we've got water taken care of, at least for now. I'll bet curmudgeonly.
So I'm.
I want to go wherever she's going, and I point towards Maria.
I
Okay.
can probably kill an animal fine, but I might have trouble tracking one.
Okay, you and Maria then can deal with hunting animals.
just watch out for T-Rexes.
What's
Or
this about
Trex.
Trexes? Oh wait, no, Harm
Yeah,
wouldn't say that. Harm saw that. God
Yeah,
damn.
Harm was around for the Trex.
Yeah, and please don't bring that to wherever. Oh, so we need to find some. We need to find some place where we can meet back up again. So
Preferably not this beach.
Yeah.
I mean, you could find the camp first and then send the hunting party out.
That
You don't
that
have
would
to
make
do
the
that
most
at the
sense.
same time.
Yeah, that's probably the best option.
All right, so how about we do that? And we all work together. So let's see.
Oh, it would help if we were, even knowing which direction we were going.
Inland is
Okay, so towards the tower.
Yes, let's go towards the tower.
at the very least we'll use the tower as a reference point. I don't want to go to the obvious big huge phallic imagery where everyone can see from anywhere on the island, but we can use that as a orienting point.
I don't know what you're talking about, the phallic imagery. I just see a tower.
I should say it's a lightning rod, so it'd be a very unusual shape for a human body part. This is a very
Listen,
large
we
head
don't
to it.
judge sizes. We don't judge sizes.
It's
We
very
accept
flat at the
everyone.
top, typically.
It's
Who is
based on how you
heading?
use it. and
who's
this
heading the
thing
search
gets
for the
used
camp?
Very interestingly.
God
I
damn it.
didn't hear what Danny said.
Who's heading
Sorry.
the search for the camp?
I thought where. Never mind.
All right. Because we have no one stepping forward, I'm gonna look to not a vampire. And go. Your name's Maria, right?
Yes, I
Marie.
think I've introduced myself like 6 times at this point.
Yeah. You're going to help us
Perhaps
now.
we should give you a one-syllable nickname, cousin.
How about you? How good are your eyes?
Some of the best.
Excellent. You're gonna help us find someplace we can. Rias,
How are
Figure
your
out
eyes
what
in the
we're doing.
sunlight?
Adequate. This isn't exactly sunlight, though.
That's true. Ooh.
What
Oh,
does
the
We're
this
losing-
guy
storm wall
look
doesn't
like?
count as sunlight.
The
Oh.
we're losing focus here.
the sky looks like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lightning bolts constantly arcing from every single inch of the sky to the same singular location on top of the tower. So it is essentially just the sky. The sky is the storm wall, but in the sky, and kind of arcing slightly down as it arcs towards the tower.
He kind of forgot that there was just endless amounts of lightning like pooling from this one kind of point in the sky. He couldn't even hear it.
It's not pooling from one point in the sky. It's pooling from every point in the sky to one point on the ground.
Yes.
Okay. Getting back on track. Can you help us find in some place we can at least figure our next move out?
All right. So you want her to do a investigation check to find camp?
Yes, and I am assisting.
Okay. Well, she gets a nat 20, which is a 30. She actually finds not. There's a kind of weird path that's not super far off from where you guys are, but it goes pretty high up into the mountain. You're still a ways away from the tower, but it kind of curves up into a slightly secluded area with a slightly inlet cave that doesn't go too far in, but enough that you could hide in it, but shallow enough that you're confident nothing else is hiding in there. There's only one really path up the mountain face to it, so you have, locked down entry point. You know where any danger would be coming from, and has a very nice view of the water. And it's probably, you guys are probably traveling for, like 30 minutes by the time you find this good spot.
Okay. And when you say it has the nice view of the water, do you mean the ocean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit further down, like closer to around here.
That's the hole. The cave entrance itself is gone. There's not just a hole in space.
It's hard to move things around on this. Yeah. And you get a good shot out onto the sea.
Do we have a good look at the original
You can see a little. You can see make out the box because it's big enough, but it's not like a perfect view.
That's fine.
You could probably see if you're like really keen on staring at it, you might notice if something is going on over there, but it'd be difficult to notice someone trying to be sneaky about something going on over there.
Right.
But anything like super obvious, you'd be able to notice with a sufficient perception check.
Got it.
You guys have found a place you can set up camp, but still lacking in the food department.
Okay, so now we can. So now we have a place of operations. First things first, our water needs are taken care of. So what we need now is food. Looking over to Lilith, you said you could probably beat something to death if you could find it.
I'm good at killing things, but as you can see, based on how it took 1,000 years to find my cousin, I'm not very good at tracking.
I was
That is-
the better tracker of the two of us back when we were hunting undead together, so perhaps I should take lead on this as well.
Fine. Fine, just get us fucking food.
All right.
I
You
can
two
look
can-
for fruit.
You two can do that. Looking back to Gil and Iggy. I always gotta look at my notes.
I love that the nickname. I forgot about Iggy.
You and Antonitos. I guess the three of us can get water.
Well, you
We
don't-
have water.
Not water. I mean, more food too.
Fruit.
Yeah, fruit, nuts, whatever plant matter we can eat.
Okay, but if I find a rabbit, I'm killing a rabbit.
Well,
All right.
Were you going? Because you said you wanted to stick by Maria.
Yeah, now I changed my mind and I want to stick to Iggy.
Okay.
All right. I guess.
Who's staying to set up camp?
I think it's going to be me and Malila.
Okay, so splitting off into teams of two.
Yep.
In that case, so
The
Antonitos,
political factions have been made.
Antonitos, I'll let you do your nature check, and Maria will do a perception to find a go as you guys kind of veer off from each other, looking for different things.
I found the wild card.
All right. And I assume both parties are getting the help action from the person that's not helming. So 26. You actually find
Unless you don't want to help, Vicky.
Yeah, you can choose to
I
just.
mean, I don't know how much help I'll be, but if
you'd like, you can hinder.
You can give disadvantage if
Yeah,
you want.
homebrew hinder action.
Well, I just want to talk with you, Iggy, about You're weird, but you seem smart. What do you think is going on?
What do I think? Well, my theory. Obviously, this island's in the middle of the storm wall.
Well, yeah.
But like, it's very clear that this island was designed to be in the storm wall. There's a big ass lightning rod on it, so it's not like the storm wall happened and someone came along and say, "Oh, hey, let me put a lightning rod up here, and then we can live here." Like, who does that in the middle of the fucking storm wall? So it's almost as if this place is like artificial, which is fascinating.
If it's
But if
artificial, do you think the plants are too?
No, I think this stuff came after.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, in a way that technically does mean it is artificial because they were kind of it does look to you like they were added from all kinds of locations much later. So they didn't
Ooh.
naturally grow here. They were brought here.
I would, yeah.
Because you got a 26 nature, I'll give you that.
Oh yes.
Um,
Well, in a way, obviously plants aren't artificial, well, unless you're a mage. But take a look at this one.
Okay.
Okay, and take a look here. The leaves are completely different. This one here, this grows in the Thunderhawk Coalition, and this guy is from Ironwood.
Is from where?
Ironwood.
Ironwill. Okay.
They're from weird places, and I can point out a whole bunch of other ones. It's
In my years of traveling everywhere, running away from my problems, would I make any kind of like understanding this?
roll a history check for me. Okay. I'll say, because he doesn't know what the role is, Antoniotis could have helped you with that. Actually, I'll say his explanation of the plans is the help action. So you get that 21, not 20.
Yeah, I
ooh.
have encountered Jesus.
Yeah, you've
Right.
traveled a lot around a lot, and not just the fact that all of these plants seem like they were brought from all over the place, but a lot of the animals you guys have seen while you were here are unusual too. Like you've heard about dinosaurs in the kind of fire giant territory where those burned up lakes are, but they don't really wander outside of that. You've seen giant goats like this kind of up towards the White Cliff territory, but they're not really well suited for other climates. So it does kind of feel like this island was kind of probably barren when this tower went up. And then these people, whoever set these up, probably either brought it with them when they came here or somehow got it over here after the fact. Probably brought a lot of non-native species of plants and animals here to kind of set up a biome here to surround whatever they were doing with this tower. It might have been some attempt to build like a community within, like an ecosystem and a kind of community within this storm wall, or maybe it was just something that was maybe a necessity. It could have been, like some farmland that got overgrown or wasn't properly tended to. It's really hard to say with how long this probably has been here. I mean, without that context, you can't say for sure, but it definitely seems like everything here was put here intentionally.
So, if people built this place intentionally,
Yes.
what do you
Oh.
think were the chances that not a vamp here ended up there accidentally?
Accidentally? Slim to none. If you want my honest opinion, I think this place was designed to be a prison. Either that or that big ass lightning rod there is attracting power, and this place is a generator for something. But it's definitely got that sort of you can't leave vibe,
I will say,
which is trouble.
roll an Arcana check for me, Antonitos.
Ooh, which one you want to take?
I'll take the 26.
Okay. Can I argue
you-
disadvantage?
Okay, disadvantage. So we'll take the 26.
Okay.
So you thinking about it, it looked like that. You're putting together the things you've noticed. You noticed that that coffin was incredibly water damaged, so it was clearly on the bottom of the ocean for a long time. You think about the fact that it was so difficult to find where it was and how long it was there, and how clearly there are living things on this island. It seems likely that being close to the storm wall is enough of a deterrent to make sure no one is going to find that coffin. It seems likely they would have put it there for that reason. But they probably weren't thinking about the fact that the lightning strikes from the storm wall are evaporating water, and that is creating a current sucking things towards the storm wall, which is why it's so difficult to sail near it. That would have had an effect even on the ocean floor and pulled this over many years closer towards the island till it found itself settled in the less turbulent water near the island. It also seems very unlikely that the people that sunk that, this cousin or whoever this person is, you've not met them and the name hasn't been said, but whoever this brother was, it seems unlikely that they would have had the skill and ability to do this on their own just 1,000 years ago. You think this might be something much older that was forgotten, and it just happens that the place they chose was close enough for this to happen. But you don't think they themselves are skilled enough to even find this place, let alone build it. This had to have been a Herculean and a hyper advanced civilization that built this, probably before the fall of the First Kingdoms, from before the war. So this probably was built almost immediately after the storm wall was created during the war. And as you think of it, it makes sense that this might have been a way to kind of avoid the war. There were a lot of really powerful mage communities, a lot of really powerful archmages and collections of archmages. It doesn't take a huge leap in logic to think that the storm wall might have erupted kind of in the midpoint of the war. It became kind of just an avoided area. It was someplace, the storm giants went to hide in, or the storm titans went to hide in every now and again, but they didn't really, it wasn't like it was their base of operation and they weren't in the entirety of it. And the rest of the continent was in flames. So it does not take a huge leap in logic to think a very powerful community of mages might have gone, all this is dangerous right now. That place no one is going. Let's find a way to build a place we can live in there, and then we can survive for a while and wait for this to blow over. And then it also does not take a huge leap in logic, knowing the personality of mages, that they may have overestimated their own abilities, and when they got here realized they didn't think of a way to get out. And may have accidentally trapped themselves in their own security. And then who knows what went wrong since then. It's been over 4,000 years. So there's a lot of questions here that probably will never have ways to answer them. But that seems like the most likely explanation to you, knowing what you know about magic and the personalities of people who delve deeply into magic.
I'm so
How much
happy
is
I
that
rolled
telling
on that. I will essentially word for word explain exactly how Dan did it, almost in like deep thought, just kind of like ranting, just going off point to point.
Antonidos is giving you the details on his special interest here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's almost as if this place they designed to be a safe haven. But in a way, I'm right.
Okay.
It is a prison.
I have a question for you then.
Yes.
If this place was built so well that mages couldn't get off it, like the most brilliant minds of a society long lost,
Ask the unanswerable question.
The task of getting us out.
It's tricky. It's going to require a lot of thought. But my question is this. If this place is so impenetrable, how are we here?
I will say it does occur to you that the mages almost certainly were trying to find a way out after they got here. They might just have snuffed it before they finished that. So there might be some work here you can kind of steal.
But if we were to find out any information on how to leave, my guess is that fun little tower. Or if there's, say, people that live here, some structures of some sort, we investigate those.
You mean the
Is-
ones down at the southern end of the island?
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, yes, we should look there too. But odds are, we're not the only ones who've asked this question. And some people may have some better answers. 'Cause, listen, I love me the spectacle, and he kind of just points up into the air. As he does, I would like to flavor. Can I have like a grape tree or something right up as he points?
Yeah, I'll say that there's not really a grape tree, but there's
Yeah.
there's an apple
Give-
tree.
There's an apple tree. Sweet. Oh shit! There it
Grapes
is.
Don't typically grow on trees; they typically grow on vines.
I
But
think we're on fire. There we go.
I
Been a
mean,
long
this
day.
if you were gonna
Apple
find a grape tree, this would be the place to find it. But
Yeah.
you don't.
Maybe, or like could have been any kind of tree, really. Big tree.
I will say, Gil, give me a what do I want to make this? Do me a history check to see if you put something together that Antonitos kind of skips over in his hyperfixation. Okay, I'll say with that, as you're kind of listening to Antonitos go off on this, you realize something a question he hasn't asked yet. How the fuck did that boat get here? Because there's no way a ship could survive sailing through that and still be recognizable. But there's a boat that seems damaged but mostly intact at the northern end of this island. How the fuck did that get there?
There's also that boat. It can't be as old as you say. So, you think maybe then it's one of ours? Or the, fucking vamps?
The boat? Oh, definitely. That's definitely Vampire.
I'll say, when Malala described it to you guys, it didn't. Even though you didn't get a great look at the vampire ship, but you did have a sense of the size. That's not either of those ships. That's something else.
Mm.
That was here. That was probably here before you guys even set sail.
Interesting.
Alright, so there's just a lot of mystery.
Mm. My best bet would be it's similar to the island. It was built beforehand. Maybe it's never left.
But, for it to have survived 4,000 years.
That's
Oh, it
also
doesn't last that long.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
I've lived
Maybe
through
it's enchanted.
buildings
Who knows?
collapsing. I've literally lived through an entire beam just rotting through. I watched it over my head for a place. Like, they don't last that long.
Could be magical.
No.
I'm not sure. We'll only find out when we get there. Oh, I love me a
Did we
mystery.
bring food back, or did I successfully hinder him?
No, you guys get a good amount of food. That will be enough rations for one day. We'll see what additional things Lilith and Maria get. Speaking of which, we'll jump over to the two of you. Lilith, it's been a long time, but you and Maria were a pair. You went off together to hunt, vampires, undead, of like zombies of different sorts. You fought a lich together. You worked together a long time, and now that you're back together, you're immediately just like in lockstep as you're taking her lead. You both remember all the same hand signals that she knows for you to loop around an area. And you pretty quickly get on the track of a pair of those giant goats. And
I'm gonna kill him.
you before you jump out, Maria does the take through, double checks, make sure that Trex isn't nearby, and you guys prepare. What do you do to take this beast out quickly?
Sorry. Did I have a lightning javelin or did I dream about that?
I think Dustu has a lightning javelin.
Oh no, I do have a
Does.
javelin of lightning.
Oh, do you?
I do. I don't know how to use it, but I want to try.
You throw it like a javelin, and if you can, basically you aim at somebody and it does it fires, it turns into lightning, hits people between you and the target, and then hits the target. So
Okay,
if you could
so
stalk around effectively, you could angle them together, but that would require a stealth check. The other
I'm gonna
option
do.
is you and Maria do something together to take them both out at once.
What do you think? Loop around, use my javelin, or one for you and one for me?
If you wanted to sneak around, I could cast blindness and deafness on the two of them. It might spook them when they notice the sound kick out, but if they don't, it'd give you more time to sneak up on them. I also do have Steelwind Strike. I could just try to get both of them together in one go.
How have you been feeling, though? You're not up to your full strength yet.
Wait, actually, here's an idea. Do we want one of them or both? I could power word stun, or she points up into there's a branch a little bit above the two of them. Dimension door the two of us right on top of that branch. Breaks under our weight, we fall down, get them both at once.
Now it's starting to feel like old times.
Right. She grabs onto your shoulder and you feel the familiar magic, though it's been a long time, of her casting Dimension Door and the two of you. And then you're in the air. Make an attack roll with me with whatever weapon you would like.
I'm gonna use my great axe.
Right. Marie is going to make a claw attack. All right, a 15 will hit. Actually, 16 because they don't see you coming. Marie, is it 26? All right. So these things are large, so they do take a good bit of damage, but not too much. You strike down at them with your great axe, bearing down into kind of the back of the one that you land on. It's not dead, but you have another swing.
I'm going to swing my axe out of it and using that forward momentum, make a loop and swing it right back down.
All right, roll another attack. This one without advantage because it does see you. 18 is still enough. Roll damage. Yes, 16 will do it as you spin around.
I'm having
and
fun.
cleave off the head cleanly. And as you kind of come out of your kind of spinning fury, you look over to the side and you see Maria landed on it surgically, immediately got at the neck and just drained it in one go. All right, back at 100%. And you see just falls to the ground next to her.
I'm kind of huffing while holding my great axe, just like, show off.
I was always the more surgical of the two of us. Let's get back to the others. As she
Can I carry both of these things?
You can carry one of them. Maria is strong enough to carry another one by herself. She has a +5 to strength.
I'm just holding it on my shoulders, just walking away.
I'll say above game, Maria is a really strong character. The only reason she doesn't have legendary actions is because she was stuck in a coffin for 1,000 years. If she was at 100% like she was when you guys used to fight together, she would have straight up legendary actions and resistances.
Damn.
But she hoists. I mean, back in the day, she was arguably more deadly than her brother. Probably less so now, but hoists it onto her shoulder, and the two of you head back to camp, arriving around the same time as Gil and Antonitos.
I hope you're hungry.
I hope you're hungry. And he puts an apple in her hand and trades her for their big game.
And
I
Antonitos,
just tossed it right on top of him.
these things, they did very well. These things are. Maria is carrying a goat twice her size. I should say, Harm, is there anything you wanted to have been doing, any roleplay you want to do of Malila while you guys were setting up camp? Oh, is Ben not back yet?
I'm back. Sorry, I just had to get some water myself.
Oh, that's fine. Is there anything
was
you
that-
wanted to be doing while you guys were setting up camp, or do you want to just flow into the rest of the party getting back?
I think it's mostly just making sure that there's an actual camp people can come to
Yeah,
now.
but no, like you don't want. Do you want to take a roleplay moment? Is what I'm asking.
Maybe a small one. I think Ham is going to let Malila know that Maria is okay. So hold on, let me just. So that newcomer, I want you to know, and please don't freak out. Oh, but I don't think she's entirely normal.
Yeah, I think I picked up on that.
She's not a vampire, but she's adjacent. Mostly she hunts vampires is the impression I got.
From what they were, I was a little bit far away, so I didn't hear super well. But from what they said, I guess that's the case. I feel like there's a lot of the story we're missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think we were actually coming here to get a sword.
You think you were here to come to this island, or to get the... Glances over her shoulder.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the vampires brought us here. Maybe someone else wanted us to come. Maybe it could have just been Antonitos wanted to come to the Stormwall, so he hired people to bring him and then lied. It's just
I don't think that's quite the case.
the idea we came here just to get some rusty sword is feeling less and less likely the more happens.
Hmm. Before shit went down, Talia did say that she felt like someone was going to try and fuck with us.
Yeah.
So
I mean, clearly she was right, but the question is who, I guess.
I don't trust any of them, but honestly, they're our best bet right now in finding Talia if she is alive, and finding the rest of the crew and getting the heck out of here.
I mean, what are the chances anyone else survived that?
The odds of us surviving are insane, I imagine. You probably have a better head for the probabilities than I.
I'm not too sure on the probability of an explosion. That might be more Antonitos' deal.
I'd rather not trust in his calculations, if fairness. I feel like he likes to see shit blow up because it's cool, rather than take stock in what happens because the shit blows up.
That's true. Well, what do you think we need to do next?
Well, there's the boat,
Yeah.
but if they have a chance of leaving, they might take it.
I mean, I don't think the boat alone is going to be enough to. It might be a piece of the puzzle, but I don't think that's going to have an outright way getting back. Where do you think the captain would have gone?
I think the captain would try and get the rest of us.
Yeah.
Try and search the jungle maybe, or look at the highest point as a place to meet up. But
Could be.
at the same time, that's also where I'm sure there are more of those bastards from the beach.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of them around here. I guess we should ask everyone else what they think they should do, but it seems like the boat might, at the very least, it might have supplies, and maybe it'll make it easier for us to, get around and take our time with the rest of stuff.
Maybe.
It's hard to tell what, if any other structure here is going to have anything we can actually use or take. The locals might not be friendly if that was a village, and
You're assuming there are people around.
I mean,
might-
there's
it might just
trees
be
and food
remnants.
around. There could be people.
Mm,
There could be none. It's hard. It's hard to gauge anything here.
we don't know enough.
Yeah, I'm good at drawing maps and sea charts and figuring out where's north and where's south. I don't even like sand.
Finding back the obvious response out of character.
I mean, it's coarse and it gets everywhere.
God damn it, Dan.
It gets in my gills. It's itchy.
And that
Why would
skill-
you challenge him like that?
I wasn't
Um,
challenging.
and
I
that-
was kidding.
That's about when everyone else returns from their hunting and scavenging expeditions.
And that's the story of how I arm wrestled a 3-armed owl bear for a whole point of that beer. That's how good that beer was.
Wow. I mean, those things are strong. Obviously, you've seen an owl bear.
They had 3 arms.
That story for a different time. 3 arm, but like
Roll in nature. Actually, I'll make this an Arcana check. Antonitos. Antonitos, you are aware. You've done a little bit of reading on the Feywild, and you are aware there's a subsect of Eladrin that live in the Feywild that actually have domesticated pygmy owl bears, and occasionally they are sold as very exotic pets in the Prime Material. They're very rare, though.
okay.
A specifically domesticated miniature breed of owl bears you're aware of.
You didn't happen to kill it, did you? You didn't kill it, did you? Those are very rare owl bears.
No,
How big was it?
it was as tall as me. I'm pretty fucking tall.
Hmm.
Not as tall as cousin over there, but I'm 6 feet. They're 6'6".
Fascinating.
So, okay, is this when it's only Antonitos and
No,
Yo, right now.
Lilith and Maria would have arrived just behind them, carrying 2
Okay.
very large goats on their shoulder. It's actually
Okay.
because you
One
you
of
kinda
which is already
see-
drained.
Yeah, you kind of see the goat over Maria's shoulder before you see Maria because it's so much bigger than her. For a second, you think there's
Oh.
just like a second goat being dragged behind Lilith, and you're like, oh no, that's Maria's under all of that.
Did you kill her?
She thuds the goat down in front of her, and you see Maria now. I'm like, yes, we killed both. Were we supposed to take them back alive?
Oh yes, we
I
wanted
wanna
to
go
domesticate
take them.
them.
That wasn't communicated to me. I thought we were going to eat them.
Newbie.
Oh no,
Well, if you're
I'm
not hungry-
well aware
Yes.
you're fucking with me.
Oh, okay. It was. You're not laughing though. It was supposed to be funny. I'm sorry.
All right,
If they're not hungry, milady, we can always drag them back.
I'm not your lady.
That one's still got
I
some
was
blood
not
in it if you're
referring
thirsty.
to you.
You can throw a little tap on it.
I don't know whether to be disturbed or intrigued. I'm going to go with the latter.
Yeah.
I prefer to be intrigued by things.
I should also
I take out my hand axe.
let everybody else know. When we were hunting, I did detect a vampire not far from our location back there, but there are none in our vicinity over here. But it should be good to note that there does seem to be some skulking in the woods. They just haven't
Which
found our
where
current
did you
location.
come from?
I
Are
can't
you a?
tell their
you-
direction. I can just tell when one is within a mile of me or so.
Yeah, but which direction did you go?
We went further inland, so
You're not a cleric, are you?
Sorry.
no.
And
You
know,
hear Lilith kind of bark out a laugh.
I can cast cleric spells.
Okay.
Okay,
If
what
you
the
need-
fuck are you? Just stop dancing around it.
Oh no, I'm just. I'm so fascinated. Maybe I'll write a book when I'm out of here.
I'm chopping up the goat.
Unless you don't want me to. I mean, I can take notes about this stuff. Oh, this is so cool.
I am something
This is
called a
history
Kresnik, which is a divinely appointed vampire. So my abilities in that regard are fueled by Zeril. However, my arcane abilities come from my own wizardry knowledge. And through that knowledge, I've also gained the ability to cast some spells normally not within the repertoire of the arcane focused. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
A divinely appointed vampire.
Something
that
of that
cool?
regard.
Ooh.
Have I ever heard of anything like that, Danny?
Roll a religion check with advantage.
I'm just gonna go off of my original check from before. That's all the information I have on this particular topic.
Okay.
I'm butchering the hell out of this goat.
With a 19, I'd say you've heard things about because you follow Zeril for a long time, and though your specific culture did not have a lot of contact with the overworld, you had heard from some who had gone over that there was a sect similar to your own in the overworld. These were very, very old elves who were aware of it, that had visited and found a somewhat sense of kinship, following the same deity and following the same mission, though going about it in very different ways. And though divine vampires did not come up in that conversation, a lot of the mannerisms and what you've gathered from what she said about her culture seem to kind of align with that. So it doesn't sound like complete bullshit to you. It just sounds very weird.
And super uncomfortable given my history.
She's no threat to you. That's all you need to worry about.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I can be a great threat to many people if they give me a reason to be. I'm as much
I
threat.
doubt they'll give you a reason.
I'm as
milady.
much a threat to you as you are to me. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. I feel very threatened. But.
I kind of take the bloodied hand axe and just kind of rest it on my other hand.
She kind of wipes a
Why
little
would
bit
you
of
say
blood
that?
from the side of her mouth, like, Antony, just
I
I
mean-
feel like you should always feel a little threatened. you seem like you could use a little bit more feeling threatened in your life.
You don't know
Why
him
you say
that
that?
well, then.
I just get the impression that you're not used to
Being an
maybe
adult.
don't. Yeah, that might be the wording.
Hmm. What do you mean?
You have a naivete about you.
I was gonna say recklessness.
I was trying to be nice.
I feel like
That's a first.
naivete is meaner than recklessness.
Look, he might be thousands of years younger than the rest of us, but go easy on him.
Oh, age isn't always a factor of someone being competent. I've known many very old people who are very, to pardon my French, fucking idiots.
What's
Yeah.
French, cousin?
It's a dead language. No one speaks it anymore.
Ah,
The old kingdoms.
good.
Well, apparently,
Sounds like it would be very confusing for no goddamn reason.
I mean, if it,
Yeah, they gender a lot of things that shouldn't necessarily be gendered. And weirdly, like things that should be gendered are sometimes given the wrong gender. Like things that only apply to women are made masculine. It's weird.
How's their counting system?
Among the worst.
And anyone who's watching who's French is now really mad.
all 0 of our French viewers are pissed.
Let's hope my French teacher never watches this.
Oh god, she might disown us.
No, she'd entirely agree. Fitzp would 100% agree with everything I said there.
I got stuck in Spanish class.
I had Latin.
With eaters.
So, as you guys are going about butchering the food and getting ready for meals and maybe getting close to being, ready to take a rest and deciding a watch order, but probably want to discuss some things beforehand. So Maria's,
Can I make some sort of cup from wreckage or find a cup in wreckage and drain some of the blood into that and hand it to Maria?
I'll
Don't
tell
you
you
have
what.
goats?
You take a big bone from one of the goats and you cut the top off of it and hollow out the marrow and you make a makeshift cup out of a goat, like a goat thigh.
I do that, and then I use the marrow to make a soup.
You just start cooking some soup for everybody. You don't have a cooking pot, so
I will.
you're making a soup
Figure
in the
something
goat's
out.
skull.
Yeah, that could work actually.
It's not great because it doesn't transfer the heat as well as a cooking pot would. So it's kind of going to be a slow process of making this soup. But you found a way to make a soup.
Yeah, but think of the extra protein the gray matter will give us.
Maria looks at the rest of you. So what's our plan?
Well,
Or I guess your plan. I'm not sure if I should include myself in the we statement or
No,
maybe you don't
include-
have a plan and
You're stuck in this situation with us.
okay. Just some of you
Until
seem
we all get off this island, we're all kind of stuck together. Let's make the most of it.
so the plan is to get off the island then.
Well, of course, but the question is how. My suggestion.
Oh, I thought we were going to make a little hamlet here.
We
Oh, of
could
course.
do
Been a
that
while
too,
since we
but
had a holiday.
unfortunately, I'm not going to volunteer as tribute for populating this island. Thank you. No offense, ladies.
I would like to get back to the mainland and figure out how much my brother has broken. And give him a
Lilith
good
kind of just
deal
looks to the side at that.
revenge for the past, I guess, 1,000 years I've been stuck in the 1,000 years. Give him about 1,000 years worth of revenge.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
1,176.
Let's not get ahead of
But you
ourselves with
counter.
vendettas of vengeance when we're stuck on the island and
Oh,
where
Um,
everything's shit.
Who exactly is your brother?
yeah, Hom, if you don't mind, can I be honest with all of you? We don't really know much about any of us, and if we're going to get through this, I think a little bit of trust is in order. Because I, for one, don't want to kill any of you. I don't think any of you want to kill me,
It
at
depends
least
on the
right
day.
now. But I have this. I'm feeling some tension here, and I think a little bit of story time can help break the tension.
Okay, what specifically do you want to know?
I move a big rock kind of near the fire so that I can use the heat to like grill up some steaks.
And I will say, while he's going, Ananitos is going to kind of make some sparks in his hand. He's going to be smoking a bit of the apple chunks he's cut up.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna like headcanon that he found some weed on the island. It's like, yeah, no,
Nah,
I'm gonna be
Okay,
honest,
I
I would have
mean-
entirely given it to you if you were going there. I was like, yeah, no, you found some weed while you were out there. You rolled high enough. I mean, wizards lived here. Of course, they brought weed with them.
I know plenty of wizards with a weed
know,
habit.
he doesn't have to be smoking anything to see the lights in the sky.
What exactly do you want to know? There's a lot
Well-
to tell, and I'm not sure how much time we
Your
have.
brother, why the fuck are the vampires looking for you?
Let's start slow. Let's start slow. How about tell us about your father.
He was also a dick.
He
Most
was.
fathers are.
You're aware. Edgar was a generally nice guy, but he was kind of a little. After his wife died, he became a little absent as a father, as he became very focused on living up to his dad's legacy and kind of threw himself into managing the Kree Strazar and kind of forgot about Marshall and Maria a bit.
Which I'm guessing is where I came in.
Yeah, I mean, like, you were part of the Kree Strazar, and you were with Maria even before that, but you did see as she became very devoted to the cause as well, as she grew up and after her mother's death. She was kind of a similar mind with her dad, whereas that's where Marshall went off and kind of started isolating. She kind of became more engrossed in the family business, so to speak, and the community. You're not sure if it was necessarily is to her benefit or detriment. It's just kind of she went on a path that she wouldn't have necessarily been on if her mother hadn't died.
Gotcha.
But as she sits back, I wasn't aware there were vampires searching for me. That's a bit more concerning.
It didn't gather from you when you saw the mass amounts of bodies.
I'm just gathering now that those were vampires. I was trapped in a box for 1,000 years, and everything I knew in my life was apparently gone now. So I'm processing a lot of things. I'm sorry if I don't have all of myself together at the moment.
Are you going into shock?
Maybe a little bit, but I'll be okay. At least we'll get off the island,
Deep
and then
breath.
maybe you'll see if find a therapist. Is that a thing people still do? Are there still therapists?
Not
beats
really,
me.
but I know a
Actually,
good bartender.
You would be aware that most therapists are of Zeryl's religion. Her two followings are people who are devoted to like seeing the dead meet their final rest, and therapists. So there are still
I-
therapists.
Love it.
But as she kind of sits back, my father is named Edgar Blackdrake. His father was named Sation Blackdrake. Sation Blackdrake is from a time long before I would remember and before the Titans War. He started the Kree Strazar with his wife Delilah Blackdrake. They overthrew a sect of vampires who controlled much of what I believe is now known as World Forge, or Southern World Forge, during the pre-war times. They overthrew and slaughtered most of the vampire high counts, and then created the Kree Strazar to maintain the peace and make sure that no significant undead threat would arise again. He left the Kree Strazar some time ago to my father, and while he was never seen again, we have reason to believe he probably passed away some time ago. My father took up the mantle of the leader of the Kree Strazar, and him and my mother were very devoted to the cause. My mother passed away when I was very young. She had gone on a hunt for a sect of liches who had been working together to some end. I don't recall exactly the details. She died in the battle, but managed to destroy the cluster phylactery that all of the liches had joined together, which allowed the rest of her group to finish the job.
Liches.
After that happened, I'm told my father became much more focused on managing the Kree Strazar. My brother, who had always been kind to me but distant to others, kind of collapsed into himself and started focusing a lot more on research of what kind I don't know. Didn't attend official events, did not go out on hunts, did not eat dinner with us. He's maintained a level of kindness to me, but eventually, when me and Lilith were returning from a hunt, him and his companion Hull, who was to him what Lilith is to me, ambushed us. And I had believed that Hull had killed Lilith, but then Marshall had cast some spell, and they had trapped me in what I gather you released me from, and I woke up here 1,000 years later. I'm afraid I don't have any context for what Marshall has been doing since then. But I don't imagine it's good. I'll say, Gil, the name Marshall Blackdrake rings a hell of a bell in your head.
Oh yeah, Gil's having. Gil is currently fighting off a panic attack real quietly.
How quietly?
Give me a wisdom saving throw. We'll find out how quietly.
Not quietly.
Not very quietly.
Like they're definitely shaking.
I mean, I guess quietly, but not. It's extremely visibly. Like you see them like shaking. They seem antsy. They're sweating a little bit. Their eyes are moving around a lot, and pupils are very dilated.
Okay.
Lilith is staring morosely into the fire, kind of forgetting about cooking.
Anything that happened after that, you guys probably have more context for than I do.
All right. Now it's your turn.
Whose turn? Who is
Yeah,
that directed
that's-
towards?
Maria.
That's who was just talking.
Oh,
That was literally
you were trying
Maria.
to ask a question. You mean?
Uh-huh. You go.
Well, if I'm being honest, because I have very little context for the world, I don't super care what a lot of your pasts are, because anything you tell me would have no context for me.
Okay, then let me ask the next question, if you don't mind me cutting in.
Sure.
Hom kind of just says rather briskly, looks back to Antonitos, Gil, Lilith, and God damn it, where are my notes?
It's not that I don't care about any of you. I don't have enough context that anything
it's
you would
just-
tell me would mean anything.
Yeah, so back to... Alright, yeah, so... What the hell are we here for? We were told here for some sort of shipwreck with some sort of sword.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about a sword.
it was an artifact.
My father had.
Of
So, here's my thought. Looking over to Lilith, that vampire you were fighting, the one that... the two that you were going at each other with.
Lilith kind of shakes herself awake and looks towards you. What of
You know-
them?
You know them?
They're just vampires.
I will
Yeah.
say, because it's been a while, a reminder for you. The vampire you were specifically fighting on the boat was Hull, the individual who wounded and left you for dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. You've expressed emotion to Hum in two instances: fighting Hall, I think, and meeting with your cousin. So
He was at the time of the ambush, Marshall's right hand man. He was essentially set as Marshall's attendant and bodyguard, much as you were set for Maria. And they likely had a similarly close relationship, though obviously a little warped.
In that case, reverse. Ask it again.
reverse. Okay, now that vampire you fought on, you know him.
What of them?
How
Lilith. Go ahead.
about you actually give details instead of just beating around the bush?
Lilith's nose kind of curls as though she smells something from the garbage, and she looks at you. He was the traitor. He's the reason why my cousin was locked in the bottom of the ocean for 1,000 years. And he's the reason why my family is most likely all wiped out,
So,
save for Maria and her traitorous brother.
all right. And you don't think it's strange at all that we just met them in the middle of the ocean trying to get some random sword for Lord Gallic?
I don't know this Lord Gellick, but my grandmother's sword was quite the artifact. It's possible maybe someone assumed it was on me, though I don't know how this Lord Gellick would have come by that knowledge. I don't have the
Lilith
sword,
choked at the
regardless.
stake. Your mother's sword wouldn't have been of much use for her anyway.
Grandmother's sword, actually.
Grandmother's sword, that's what I meant.
Yeah, this is
Been
Delilah.
1,000 years.
This is the Surge Piercer that is now in the possession of Ruz, by the way.
Ah!
So what this tells me is we got set up and we got fucked.
well, wouldn't that be something to bring up with your captain then?
I think that's something to bring up with the one who hired us. You know,
Yeah, here.
yeah, he's not here, but you hired him. I mean, you were hired by him. You were our connection basically in this.
Me?
You points to Lilith, Antonitos, and then you.
Technically, so originally, the captain is the one that that made the deal, and then he brought up, and I want you to take these mercenaries.
Yeah.
He didn't go through the mercenaries to find you guys.
Right. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Look, I took this job because I owe some people back their money, and I thought a several month long ship journey would let things cool off a little bit, okay?
Deception check. Absolutely a deception check.
Can I argue disadvantage because she is visibly
Yeah,
having
disadvantage
a
because
reaction?
you're having a panic attack.
Hold on.
So, I'm sorry.
Initial reason for taking this particular job, but you told me she's just running around everywhere.
I mean,
They.
yeah.
Do.
I mean,
Is
you
this,
guys see no reason why that's not believable. Seems realistic.
Seems realistic.
Gil seems like a relatively reckless person. Probably, maybe has gotten into debt with some people.
Hmm.
Hella fucking gambler.
And you aren't at all connected with anything that's happening here.
No. That'll also do it to such forth.
So you're just having a hard time with your meat right now.
Yeah, I think I'm having a bit of a reaction to this apple.
Are you allergic to apples?
Possibly is it usual that your mouth goes numb during that?
It's actually one of those LSD apples that Gohan had in the Garlic Jr. movie.
Drink
Oh,
apple
no!
juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quench you. It's the quenchiest.
Just lick something that was on the wall.
You did weirdly find one cactus on the island, and you have no idea how that's still alive.
Cactus survive a lot of things.
Except water.
Stubborn fucks.
Except water. They don't survive well with water.
Nothing's crunchier.
Okay. Ham's looking at
Like,
Ham's looking at Gil and just shakes their head.
Well, I guess if everybody's said as much as they're willing to say about where they're from at this point,
Oh, I could go on if you want.
I think we're all good on that one.
I had a feeling. Just takes a big bite of his apple.
Oh,
Okay.
are you gonna get high now too?
God damn it.
I think I'm going to avoid.
Antoninos,
the
make me a
fruit on this
Constitution
island.
saving throw.
God damn it.
That wasn't a fucking apple. You look down, you got just like a cut off piece of cactus in your hand,
Where did that come from?
and
Ooh.
you see your fingers are bending in a weird way. Did they always bend like that? That's not right. Your fingers are metal. How's metal fingers bending?
Oh.
Oh, your face just feels really nice. Ah, it's like it feels like all your cheeks are just really loose. Ah. You're like as you're like you can feel like all the muscle like moving beneath. It's just so nice. It's weird. Like you can't stop feeling it.
You
As
doing
in-
that seems completely ordinary compared to all your other behavior.
As Antoninos gets incredibly high, Maria looks at the rest of you. What is our plan for tomorrow? If vampires are here, we probably don't want to dally around too long. Because we don't want them to get to anything they might want before we do.
So, I imagine what we're going to need to do is one, try and figure out where the rest of the crew are.
If they're still alive.
That's a good point, actually. I mean, the
Ham's
more
looking.
of it, that's your job.
Ham is looking at you two, and it's
If the
just
vampires were
grinding.
smart.
I don't particularly care if we find the rest of the crew. I just need to get off this fucking island that's full of fucking vampires.
If the vampires were smart, they'd be keeping them alive as cattle.
Well,
I
collateral,
doubt they get much prey here.
they might be
See.
able to threaten if they have the crew.
I know you all like to get on Antonitos for having a lack of people skills, but those are my fucking family you're talking about.
Okay.
We should find the crew if we can. it wouldn't be proper, whether they are alive or dead, it wouldn't be proper to leave them to the vampires if they're alive, and it wouldn't be proper to leave them without a funeral if they are dead. But we don't have a lot of direction for that right now.
Also, and if you don't like that,
What
you
kind
could
of
always
funeral
try
are they
crewing
going
a
to
ship.
get if we're also dead?
I mean, do you
There's
know
a
how to
point.
actually man a ship, Miss Drinks a lot?
Excuse me?
See, this is exactly why I wanted story time, and only one of us participated in story time. 'Cause now we're at each other's throats. Like, calm down, guys.
Out of character. I love how Antonitos is the one trying to play peacemaker.
Also, Antonitos is saying this like he's not removed his hands from his face, so he's completely covered his face as he's talking at you.
Oh,
So yeah, out of character. This is hilarious. I wanted to let that stand.
look, we're
Back
at
in
one of the
character.
most magical places in the world right now, and it wants to kill us.
It's also
And, like-
possibly the most dangerous.
You're also looking at your hand instead of the sky.
There's
Hmm?
no fucking sky to look at. It's all fucking lightning up there.
Yeah. Oh, it stares straight up. Oh,
You're in a cave right now, but also like you're super high, so you don't realize you're just staring at a
Hey,
cave
he's-
ceiling now.
He's staring up and he sees the pretty colors.
Yep.
You're still staring at the ceiling of the cave. You're like, oh, that sky's so cool. What did he eat?
I have no idea.
It
Says cactus.
seems to me that dealing with the vampire threat is the most beneficial for both of our goals. They seem to be the most immediate threat to your crew members, and if we remove that, then any members of your crew that are alive will be less harried and it'll be easier for us to find. If they have taken your crew, we'll find them there. They will also clue us in on why they are on this island and possibly how to get off.
Hmm.
The problem is we don't know where these vampires are.
As she's saying this, Lil is kind of creeping over to what's his face and grabs the cactus and tosses it in the fire.
Hey, I wanted to finish that.
You see as vapors begin rising from the fire, and anyone who breathes them in is also going to need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Damn it!
You can. I mean, it's a cave, so with like a pretty big open mouth, so you can avoid the smoke pretty easily. Okay, you're fine, Gil.
God damn it.
Ham is not gonna try and breathe in.
Yeah,
the
you
smoke
can
with him.
avoid it. We don't know where the vampires are, and we don't know where the crew is. I'll know if we're within a mile of the vampires, so as we explore the island, we'll have a better clue of where our enemies and where our friends likely are. My question is, where do we think is most important to explore next? Every location is.
Iggy made a good point that if there were mages here and they had a civilization, then perhaps they were looking for a way out, and we should go down there to the south where the potential buildings were.
Or the big ass tower.
We will make our way there, Iggy.
We also
Pat
might
you on the head.
run into a
May-
good deal of danger there if there are archmages still living.
I think it might be prudent to actually instead head off all of that and check out the boat so that we can see what if it's one saleable, and two, if we can somehow disable it temporarily to make sure that it doesn't go without us.
It also may have supplies, which would put us in a better position to deal with any potentially aggressive mages or vampires we may run into. And it seems less likely that it'd be populated.
Fine. Whatever.
I mean, I'm not saying we should head to the boat. I'm saying all of these locations are as likely as any other to have what we're looking for, but they also have other benefits to keep in mind. Which one do we think is the biggest priority right now?
Looking at Malila. Did I say that right? Probably said it wrong.
Malila.
Malila. Oh, so I did. Okay. Malila.
Yeah.
How far away do you think the boat was from the beach?
From the beach or from where we are?
Well, if you can figure out how far it is from where we are.
From where we are, it's probably. See, you're doing some math in her head. I don't usually estimate walking speeds, but I'd say probably 2-3 hour journey. If we make good time and cut across kind of the edge of the mountain. Probably 2 or 3 hours. I don't know how far off into the water it is, so it might be difficult to get to once we get there, but the tower seems, I think, is closest to us right now, but I don't know how easy that will be to get into once we get there. So
Tower's the closest. I
yeah,
think
that would probably be, well, it's going up a mountainside, so that'd probably be like an hour and a half maybe. It's a shorter distance, but it's a harder climb, so it depends on if we have things that can, make it easier on us. But
if we could get to the boat, secure supplies, and perhaps even some of the things that would, and perhaps takes like the sail, and maybe disable like the rudder temporarily, we could possibly then bring it back here.
if the
Then
boat
check out the tower.
if the boat is structurally sound and difficult to get to, it could be a decent place to hold up and kind of set up a pseudo base of operations for a bit. If we can get there reliably and we know it's going to be difficult for other people, if we find any crew members, it's not a bad place to let them hide out.
True.
So long as we can make sure it's secure.
Okay, so we go through the boat in the morning.
I mean, the
I guess
boat,
that's the plan.
yeah, I think that'd have my vote. But I don't.
I just want to sleep. I was fucking drained out there. Okay. You're high, Antonitos. I don't think you're getting anything.
I don't.
What?
No,
I'm sitting.
I couldn't tell if he was going. Antonitos, you're laying down on the floor and spinning.
Huh? Oh, I thought. I'm sorry. I thought I was going down a river.
You were doing that. Antonitos was just doing that thing toddlers do where they lay on their side and then do a full sprint so they just spin in a circle.
You do know how to swim. 4 feet. Right.
Well, Maria speaks up. If you all need to rest, I was in a box for 1,000 years. I think I will stay up and stretch my legs so I can keep watch.
I would prefer it if we at least exchanged watches. You can stay up if you want, but
Very well.
I don't fully. I'm gonna be frank. I don't fully trust you.
Okay.
I would be a little suspicious if you did.
Got it?
Say that again, Vicky.
I want to, well, out of character, I want to meditate for 4 hours and then I'm good. So, I'll do the left 4 hours of watch.
Okay. So how do you want to break up the watch then? Who wants to take? You're gonna need at least 2 other shifts besides that if you don't want just Maria keeping watch.
I don't mind taking the first 2 hours.
Okay. So Harm will take the first 2. Who wants to take the second 2?
I can take one.
Okay, it's probably better that it's not Antonitos.
Yeah, Ananitas is just gonna sleep the whole time. If I'm being honest,
Also,
he should.
if you
he
need
should
me,
probably
I'm
have
going
it.
to be petting my cat.
Hmm.
In that case,
As you
Harm,
should,
I would
as you
like you
should.
to make your first, the first perception check. I will. You can either do it with advantage, or if you want Maria to give you the help action, or she can do a separate one.
How about she does a separate one?
Okay, so
I
she
think
will
that
do.
makes more sense anyway.
She will do perception.
Perfect.
As you kind of
Can I characterize this in a particular way?
sure.
I'm trying to keep watch. I'm mostly watching Maria though.
Yeah, you're mostly. And you see, she's pretty spot on with her watch. She sits like out a little bit out of the mouth of the cave, but enough that like she wouldn't be enough in the cave that she wouldn't be obviously visible for anyone that's not immediately coming up the path. But at an angle, she can see clearly down the path. She kind of
Oh,
posts
shoot.
up there and just watches down it.
I do want to say I would have done this. I would have done the tiny hut.
Okay.
I just forgot.
So you do the tiny hut at the kind of entrance of the cave, so that it actually kind of you kind of get a little bit extra space from it because it doesn't encompass the entire cave, but it can encompass the entire mouth of the cave. So you just choose a color that blends in with the cliffside, so the cave is entirely invisible now, and the back of the cave is fine for anyone besides you because you obviously have to stay in the hut.
I have to stay in the hut. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're pretty secure. I mean, she's just watching down the path, eyes like a hawk the entire time. And after about 2 hours, your watch comes to an end without any major problems happening.
Okay. I'm going to retire. Starts to set up the equivalent of a pillow, which I guess would be a less like a log or a less uncomfortable rock or something.
Okay.
And looking to Maria, I gotta stay in the dome. How about you go get your cousin?
All right. Oh, I'll wake her up. Lilith Maria wakes you up as you take your shift on watch. Same deal for you. You can do your separate perception checks, or you can take it with advantage.
Dan, would you mind rolling for me because Trinket's purring so loud I can't leave?
Sure, I will roll
You're
for
stuck.
you. Where is?
You're
So
stuck.
sorry.
No, that's fine. That's understandable.
That's a good excuse. That's a good excuse.
Character
No,
sheet.
not even an excuse. A reason.
You're so sweet. Oh, she loves you too. Well, she likes you. She doesn't dislike you.
You got a 4.
You're loud though.
And
Damn it.
Maria gets a natural 1. So you are about an hour into your watch, Lilith, when you realize it's been a long day, both physically and emotionally, and you are exhausted. And without realizing it, you just entirely pass out.
Well, that sucks.
Maria kind of just zones out for a bit. She's nowhere near tired for a rest, so she wouldn't fall asleep like you guys would. But she kind of gets lost in her own thoughts and doesn't really notice much happening. Gil, I'll say no one wakes you up, but you kind of come to your own on your own after the 4 hours are up. And
Do
you
I
see,
get the 8 points that was drained from me back,
yes, you do.
and I get full health.
Yeah. I'll say technically you get it at the end of the 8 hours, even though you meditate. But I'll give it to you now
Okay.
because you're in a strategic enough position that it will be obvious if you're going to be pounced up on. So really at this point, the watch is more concerned for members of the party than it is for exterior forces because your position is strategic enough.
I see Maria zoned out, and
You see, it's not that it seems like she's hyper focused and not really. She's hyper focused in her own thoughts, which you, being someone who's gone through a lot of trauma, kind of recognize the face of someone who is trying to process the trauma they've been through and kind of just tuning out the world as they do that.
Gil is gonna sit down next to her and offer some of the leftover alcohol from the last time she made the Jagdu beer, because she definitely keeps that in canteens.
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Probably shouldn't drink.
You just want 1,000 fucking years sober.
Yes, and when I drink again for the first time, it shouldn't be in a situation like this. I appreciate it, though.
Fine. Process it raw. Probably your.
You don't trust me. The rest of the party doesn't trust me, and I don't blame them, but you especially don't trust me.
Don't trust anybody. Don't take it personally.
I don't take it personally, but that's not all of it. I'm not going to ask what happened. I can put together...
Roll, like, persuasion check or whatever for her?
Persuasion? Okay. That is an 18 on her part. As she's kind of fiddling with her fingers, she goes, I'm not going to ask you what happened. I won't ask you to relive that. I can make some assumptions, as I think I know probably a little bit more about your culture than you assume.
That Gil is taking it back from, because Gil barely knew anything about the Kresnik culture.
Yeah. I spent a little bit of time in the Underdark. There were some hunts that brought us down there, and we worked. Ebon Sheaths, I think, was the name of the group. I
haven't heard that name in almost 1,000 years.
I can gather. I know enough to know the pieces of where you've been from that you don't want to say, and I'm not going to ask you to say it. But the fact that you're hesitant towards me tells me a bit of what my brother might have been up to. You've seen him, haven't you?
Gil is unresponsive.
That tells me everything I need to know. I don't...
Why the fuck is this all here? Why the fuck is this happening?
I was trapped in a box for 1,000 years. I wish I had the answers.
I know it's not your fucking fault, but why the fuck are we all here right now? Alright, why? Why?
Don't
These people, what with you? Why with every? Why are we all connected? Why can't we just get away?
I don't know. I wish I did. It seemed... I feel like it's all connected to my brother, but I don't know why, and because I don't know what he's been doing. But it seems like you do. And maybe...
You want... she gestures to
Lilith?
Character. Lilith. She complains her entire family's dead. Watched my entire culture get slaughtered. Entire race.
She sits for a while. But
I've been running from that for some.
I think we have a lot more in common than either of us realize. But I won't pretend like we've been through the same, as I didn't have to watch it happen. I was locked in a box when it was happening. But it does explain a few things. I don't know what Marshall's
Joke with Harold.
doing in the Underdark, but it seems his vendetta against you and your people is likely connected to our shared faith.
Yeah, so this is all a fucking sick joke of Zeryl's.
No, there might be an improper assumption here. He's not a follower of Zeryl like me and my father were. He was raised in the same culture, yes, but he's always been not hostile, but distant to that side of things.
At this point, Gil pukes. They're not on, like, they turn around and, like, get out of the...
They
Dope
press
or whatever.
digitation the puke off of you and the floor and clean it up a little bit.
Take a swig of alcohol, spit it out.
That can't make it much better.
That apple really didn't fit with me. Nor did this.
I'll let you have that. I think this is as much of the conversation as either of us have the energy for today.
Yeah, no fucking joke.
I'm gonna take a walk a bit down the path and see if I can ping anything nearby us.
Wait, let me know if you ping any ghosts.
I can't sense. Vampires are really the only undead I can sense, but if I see any, I'll probably. I've fought a ghost in a long, and as she kind of wanders off talking about ghosts. As she does, you kind of lean back, stretch and turn, and you see on the cliff face that same ashen figure.
Oh my fucking god, you don't fucking relent. I'm yelling at this point.
Are you yelling? And you kind of like stand up to like move towards them, and you see they're gone. They're not on the cliff face anymore. The moment your eyes were off of them, they disappeared.
It's often I turn around.
You turn around and they're sitting there next to you. How's it going, kiddo?
I am 11,000 years old. You still have to call me that.
I mean,
1,100 years old.
Fuck, like, you might be, but you still act like a kid. What? It's no good to you've not talked to me in 1,000 years. No hi, how are you? Yo, you mean this really fucking difficult, you know?
They're sobbing right now.
I mean,
Don't
like,
fucking do that.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't deserve it. Don't fucking do that.
It's been a long time, and I wanted to give you your space. Normally, we can't talk like this unless you start the conversation. But when you came here, I knew you weren't going to be okay on your own. So found a way. You gonna stand there crying in the mouth of the cave, or are you gonna sit down and talk?
I don't know.
Kind of leans forward, and now that they're like sitting down, before they were just like a vague silhouette of a humanoid face. As you're now like conversing with them, you start to see like the features of your brother.
Oh, no. Don't be real. Don't be fucking real.
I mean, look, you went through the training the same as I did. I'm right in there. And he points to the glaive on your back.
But if you're right in there, then that means that I could have used it this whole time. I could have.
I assumed you didn't want to talk. You seemed like you were running from it, and I wasn't gonna put it on you if you weren't ready.
Doesn't even matter if I'm ready now.
Well, I know you're not ready now, but it doesn't matter if you're ready because you need it. And you might not be ready for it, but without it, you're not going to get through this.
You mean like emotionally, or like I have to use the fucking sword? The glaive.
I mean, the
whatever.
sword is a really cool weapon. Like, it would help, but I'm more talking like emotionally, because you...
I'm a fucking mess? Yeah? I didn't notice.
You're running from something that was never angry at you. I'm not talking about what happened back at the village.
I'm pretty happy.
That's understandable.
And I have no way to forgive myself. I have nothing to do for that. It just is.
Look,
How the fuck are these people still asleep?
oh, a lot of this is happening in your head. Was that not clear? I know it's been 1,000 years, but that was part of the training.
I'm doing this in my head.
No, like the part where me and you are talking, that is in the head. Like, I'm actually here. This is actually me, but only you can see and hear this conversation.
So I could like.
You're upset at yourself for something that's not your fault.
I chose to run.
And
You could have.
what else were you supposed to do? There was no one there left to save. I mean, yeah, you could have given the bodies a funeral, but there were too many of them. You weren't going to have time. There were too many people coming to you. You wouldn't have survived that if you didn't run. Why the fuck were you supposed to stay?
Could have saved that kid. Drill.
He was long dead by the time you were there. Also, point of order, Joel was your senior by a couple of
okay.
years. He was ahead of you in the program.
Okay.
He was long dead by the time you got there. I know it's hard. It's never easy to feel like you failed, especially when you feel like you failed yourself. But you did exactly what you should have done then. The problem came when you refused to face how you felt about that. It was never about being the hero. It was about finding a way to keep living. And I'm looking at you, kid. You've not been living. You really haven't. And it breaks my heart.
You just tried.
What was that?
I've just been trying to survive. I don't know why.
I know.
If the least they could do, I could remember you, and that's all that.
I know what you've been through. I've been watching the whole time. And I know it's been hard, and I know no one has been beating you up as hard as you've been beating up yourself. You gotta find a way to get past this, even if it's just one step at a time. And look, you know I'm not one to try to force closure on someone who doesn't want it yet. And there's not going to be a lot of closure to find here, if I'm being honest.
Fucking dumb.
But if you take anything from this conversation, take that it is okay to choose how you want to live, not just how you want to survive. And you don't need to use that sword if you don't want, or that glaive if you don't want to. You don't need to follow Zeril if you don't want to. There's no ill will there. She understands. And I think a lot of what I've said here kind of echoes how she feels about your situation, of heartbreak that you're having a rough time, but doesn't want to force doesn't want to force you to choose her help.
I need you to stop. I can't. Gil wipes their face clean and probably ignores anything, kind of like chews the vision away and starts working on Thor.
I'll be here if you need to talk again. And the ash form dissipates in the wind. Marie returns, and you all wake up. Unpoisoned, no longer high. Ready to set off for the day. And I think that's where we are going to end it for tonight. It feels like a good point of closure.
Guys, Trinket is doing so good.
Oh, I'm gonna stop
I
the
have
recording
pictures.
now. Bye, YouTube.